Hi, everyone. I'm here with 3M's Group President, Transportation and Electronics, Wendy Bauer. Today in the driver's seat, we're talking about the latest industry trends. In your position, Wendy, you're leading 3M's Transportation and Electronics Business Group, and you're immersed in product development across a range of industries: electronics, aerospace and defense, transportation infrastructure, and of course, automotive. So, needless to say, I'm excited to hear about the latest innovations we're going to see from 3M. Thanks for joining us today from St. Paul, Minnesota. And welcome to In the Driver's Seat, Wendy.
It's great to be here with you, Emma. Thank you.
Great to have you here. So, first off, congratulations on being recognized as one of the top 100 leading women by Automotive News for 2025. The award ceremony was back in May, and it was such a wonderful event.
Thank you. It was great to be there again and to see all the incredible leaders in the industry making such an impact with all the transformation going on. So it was a privilege for sure.
Yeah, it was a big event. Such a big honor, Wendy. So 3M was just at the 2025 IAA Mobility Show in Munich. This is a huge event in automotive, full of so much new technology and innovation. 3M showcased several new offerings at their booth. With everything you're seeing, which technological developments do you think will have the greatest impact on mobility in the coming years?
As you noted, Emma, 3M was just at the 2025 IAA Mobility Show in Munich, and it was a great opportunity for us as 3M to show up and really showcase not only are the relevance that we have in automotive today. In case you may not know, 3M has been supporting the automotive industry for over 100 years. So certainly an industry that we have rich history in and continue to innovate for and are really committed to the industry's innovation and most compelling needs. What was exciting about the show that continues to just be demonstrated over and over again is the pace of innovation, the diversity of innovation needs, and really how 3M can play in so many of those. From, if you think about the advancements in software and electronics going into vehicles, how 3M is really collaborating with industry leaders to continue to innovate on what is required there at a material science layer, to exterior material advancements needed to interiors. So really innovation that 3M is showcasing in and around the vehicle in every domain that the industry is focused on.
Well, it really seems like the perfect show for 3M. I mean, it really is focused on the future. Which important future topic do you think is not receiving enough attention in the mobility debate?
A key one that we really spend a lot of time focusing on is there is certainly a lot of attention on software in the vehicle or software defined vehicle. But when you break down that topic and really think about what does it take to bring the software defined vehicle concept to life, there's recognition that there's a lot changing in the automotive electronics, for example. But as you continue to dive into all of the technology advancements, what you'll quickly discover in many of these topics is that material science innovation itself sits at the core of a lot of the challenges in innovation needing. So, for example, in electrical architectures and systems, advancements in materials supporting thermal requirements or new conductive requirements or power management. They're all real challenges that engineers and our innovators in the industry are focused on to enable bringing that software defined vehicle to life. Or flip over to another topical area around interiors and personalization and materials, whether it be in the cockpit or seats or door panels, just continuing to advance materials that give that personalization or that touch or that feel that again go to customer preferences. Materials sit at such an important layer, and that doesn't often get the focus on, but is essential to enabling all the other advancements that do often get spoken about.
That's so true. When we talk about, what areas have the greatest potential, certainly what you've just talked about is one of those areas and not getting enough focus. Which area of mobility do you see the greatest potential in? And where do you still see room for improvement?
Well, there's so many, but one of the themes that I'm finding myself in a lot of conversations with customers and partners is this notion of tech for tech's sake. The automotive industry is rich with innovation and engineering talent and capability. And we as a collective industry often really get focused on that point of innovation, which is very important. That's a critical part of bringing it to market. But um, really separating kind of the tech for tech's sake versus the tech as an enabler for what we're really trying to do to satisfy and delight and give that better customer experience aligned to their industries, and really keeping that in context of what we're trying to do and why and how we have to collaborate and work together. And so when you break that down and really get focused on the customer's challenge that we're trying to think of, it really helps you better focus on what do I need the tech to do and why, and keeping that in context as a starting point. So that dialogue and the opportunity to focus in on that is more and more important. Um, and then the second thing I would pivot over to is, like many companies at 3M, we see the future of mobility as a blend of a lot of cross industry challenges and focus areas coming together. Certainly, automotive and consumer electronics. And so the ability to continue to go deeper into what does that convergence actually mean? What are the challenges to really solve? Layered in with the fact that our customers' expectations and preferences, with the explosion of what's happening in the consumer electronics industry, our customers' expectations continue to dynamically change. Those innovation needs are continuing to rapidly evolve. And so keeping that pace of those evolving challenges and preferences is certainly something that we as a collective industry have to get better at, which means how we partner across the organization or the industry has to get deeper and deeper and deeper continuously.
And you talked off the top about just that connection that 3M has to the auto industry. It's so closely connected to our
Mhm.
industry, a genuine partner, and it's been this way for a very long time. What is that connection and that partnership rooted in?
As you mentioned, the 100 years we've been in the industry, and at the onset of when we got into the automotive industry, it was really focused on helping a customer solve a particular challenge around the vehicle that was clear, and that hasn't changed. Our deeply rooted culture of working what we call bench to bench with customers, or a focus on customer backed innovation, is what 3Mers love to do and really love to solve those customers' most difficult challenges that we talk about. So that's something that won't change, something that we're committed to. But I think the opportunity for us is to really think about not only working with a really important customer bench to bench, but aligning to their future roadmap and technology needs, and partnering more broadly with a broader set of stakeholders as the challenges are getting more complex, as the challenges have to be solved much quicker, and as the challenges really require multiple companies coming together doing what they do best, and figuring out how to collaborate more rapidly, more effectively through broader sets of the ecosystem together.
Okay, well, I have to ask you a prediction question. How do you envision the future of mobility, and what specific changes do you expect in the next 10 years?
Obviously, predicting is a tough question. I think the advancements of all the things that the industry is focused on around powertrain diversification, personalization, the convergence with electronics, certainly all of those will continue to mature. And I think what will be different than maybe we've seen in the past 5 years or so, looking forward to the next 5 years, is simply the pace of innovation. But I think what will change is something I touched on a bit earlier, is this less focus on tech for tech's sake, but really anchoring more on that customer driven personalization and what they're looking for in an industry that has to be more agile to the end customer's expectations and what they themselves really care about. So, greater focus on the personalization, the selection that they have, modularity, customized materials, colors, everything from the electronics and what it can enable to bring in terms of digital experiences and content in the vehicle. But that notion of customer-driven personalization and preference, I think, will be the undertone of so much of what changes in a vehicle, that the industry has to keep the pace of evolving rapidly to give that customer, because that's where the end market diversification and brand differentiation is going to come from, is responding to the customer's actual needs quicker.
Well, you paint a very exciting picture, and I am excited to see 3Mers at CES in 2026. It's been so great having you with us today, Wendy. Now, it's a tradition to close out each episode with our 0 to 60 challenge. Over the next 60 seconds, we'd like to give our viewers a chance to get to know you a little better. So, are you ready for the challenge?
Absolutely.
Okay. What was your first job?
My first job was as an engineering co-op student, changing brakes, working on anti-lock braking systems for General Motors.
That seems like a prerequisite for what you're doing right now, doesn't it?
Yes. Who knew?
Yeah. Okay, so who are the important business leaders or influencers that you follow?
I love to follow influencers or business leaders of many forms for a variety of reasons. Everything from technology leaders who are leading the world's biggest organizations to really transform or enable transforming what other industries do, whether it be Jensen at NVIDIA or Andy Jassy at Amazon or Satya Nadella at Microsoft. These leaders are leading businesses who are enabling other organizations to transform and bring such great insights from different dimensions over to business and management thinkers like Adam Grant or Amy Edmondson, or even leaders who are transforming some of the biggest industrial giants that really go to culture, technology, like Larry Culp at GE.
All right, question number 3. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
One of the best pieces of advice ever received is really around the understanding the value of time, when you need to move or not move, knowing when to make a decision and when it's critical, but just really the value of time.
Well, I think that's all great advice, Wendy, and I'm sure there are many people following you as an influencer. And I want to thank you again, and we'll see you all next time for In the Driver's Seat.
Thank you, Emma.
Thanks, Wendy.